Hey guys, Marsegid here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be checking out the EZAs for the GT Cell and GT Frieza that just came out on Global with the release of all the Omega stuff. These guys, I thought we'd do them together as a video since they do really ideally want to be run together because of the way their passives and everything work. They do have a very similar passive, each of them, so... We get 2 key, attack and defense 150, additional attack and defense 100%, and a guaranteed additional super when performing a super attack if all allies in the same rotation are revenge, GT bosses, or sworn enemies. So we're obviously running them on the 200% GT bosses team. Then they get an additional 150% attack, or Cell does. 150% attack, attacks effective against all types when the enemy is stunned. And then we have FRIEZA. Has basically the same thing, right? 2 key, 150%, additional 100 and an extra attack when allies are GT bosses, sworn enemies, or revenge. And then he gets attack 150, effective against all types, when the target enemy's super is sealed. So they're supposed to play off of each other, because Frieza gets the buff when the enemy is sealed, and Cell seals the enemy and raises attack and defense. He gets his buff when the enemy is stunned, and Frieza stuns the enemy, and for some reason only raises defense. I don't know why they made both of their passives, like, the same, except for their super attacks, Cell raises attack and defense, and Frieza only raises defense, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's kind of it, really. So we do get a little bit of a boost on the super attack, which is good, because we are going to have the full GT bosses rotation every time, as well as a guaranteed additional super, which means they're always going to be raising their defense twice. But... like, we see start of turn here, we're 163k. So, when Cell super attacks, his passive means he's going to go up to, like, 320. His super attack effect means we're going to be getting up to about 400. Then he gets a second super, so maybe about 450, which is not particularly great. But the problem is, I think I talked about this in the video where we broke down the upcoming content, is it's kind of like the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4s when they came out for 2022 Heroes, where these two units essentially want to be run, like, together. They share 4 links, but, like, neither of them are really good in slot 1. So in any sort of difficult event, you wouldn't actually run them together as a rotation. So I do think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. Like, they should have probably given them some kind of support passive, and then, you know, you could run them in slot 3 on a GT bosses team, because unfortunately a lot of their abilities are essentially gated behind putting status effects on the enemy, which, as we know at this point in the game, there are multiple, like, bosses, most of the bosses, that you just can't do that to. So since he is sealed going into the turn, yeah, see, we wouldn't be doing this in a difficult event, would we, if he's taking 50k in slot 1. Now, he has got an 8.1 million attack stat, but remember, that's because the enemy is sealed, so he is getting his buff. And he stunned the enemy. This is why I put Frieza first, because now Cell will get his buff as well. So yeah, 8.1, Cell gets 8.6, and of course, because Cell gets to raise attack as well, it means if Cell doesn't kill him here, there you go, Cell's jumps up, so Cell does 9 million. Now, for 2 random banner unit sub-EZAs, like, doing double 8 mil attack stats is pretty cool. It's just the fact that, like I said, they're units that don't really have much of a purpose on the team, especially in an event where you can't use status effects against the enemy. Like, if those guys had a support passive, because remember, their attack stats, they were getting guaranteed attacks effective against all types because of the enemy having the status effect. But that attack stat is because we had the full GT bosses rotation, which we would still have if they'd made them 3rd slot floating support units. And I feel like that would have been actually just generally beneficial for the GT bosses team, because... you know, with the release of Omega, this is kind of the only team you can really run them on. And that's, you know... the team definitely needs help. So to have a support unit that floats in slot 3, that's getting, like, you know, double 8 million attack stats, 500k defense, which isn't great, but it means they will reasonably tank most normals. For a floating support unit, that's not terrible. But... yeah, the biggest problem is because they don't support, all they're really there on the team to do is to do damage or to do their status effect. Like, I remember back in the day, I'm pretty sure even before they had their Dokkan Awakenings, I think I used the GT FRIEZA in the in Super Battle Road because he has the ability to stun. So for Super Battle Road, these guys could be useful. I guess it'd be kind of funny. I know there's no real reason to replay that specific event if you've already done it, because I don't know if I doubt they'll add missions to it. Maybe they will as part of the anniversary if it is going to be partially superhero related. But the Gamma 1 and 2 red zone stage, obviously in the first phase you can stun, and in the second phase you can seal, which could potentially be useful. It's the main reason why we're doing the Cell red zone, if anything else, because he can be stunned. So then at least we're able to give Cell here his buff. So... oh yeah, the attack stat, sorry, it's the attack stat 1 plus 150 is from the status effect. That's why their attack stats are so high. So it's the attack 100%, attack and defense 100% on super that is reliant on the GT boss's allies. So you can see there from this turn, this is what we're going to be looking at when they are not having this set up with the status effect, right? FRIEZA did what, like 4 million attack stat? So now, if you consider events where you can't put status effects on the enemy, why would we bring them on the team? 4.5 million attack stat, don't provide any support to the team, can't put status effects on the boss because they're immune to them. Like, what else are they doing for the team? They're not Big Bad Bosses units, so they're not helping out like Omega or any of the Shadow Dragons that have Big Bad Bosses. It's just a very weird situation. And then, of course, yeah, we get turns like this. So we've got the support from the LR Shadow Dragons. Start of turn defense is 200k. So if he supers in slot 1, we're going to take some damage here. But again, like I say, you just wouldn't really run them as a rotation. 100k from normals. Oof, in slot 1. Which is understandable. They're not slot 1 units, right? These two right here, they're going to save GT bosses. But yeah, 5.2 mil without the enemy being sealed for FRIEZA. He didn't get the stun though, so at least in this event, because we can stun, at least Cell is able to get his buff. So Cell looking pretty good here, consistently. But see, with the support, look at that, he's over 10 mil. Like, that's good for a random sub EZA. But it's completely reliant on the enemy being stunned, which, yeah, we just can't do in any of the events that actually matter. So, very, very strange. Like, obviously that part of their design was probably never going to change, that they got buffs based on each other's, like, status effect things. But I feel like there's ways they could have changed it to make them at least a little bit better, right? But I guess it is what it is. It's just unfortunate. GT bosses really, really needed the help because the team is not the best. And with the release of Omega being the GT bosses carnival leader, like, what a perfect time. People have said it many times. Someone said it even in the chat earlier today in this stream. But, like, this would have been the perfect time for them to release some sort of free-to-play event where you could get farmable versions of all of the Shadow Dragons, except for, like, Omega, I guess. You could even not get Omega or Sin, right? And then have the other ones. All as farmable free-to-play units, like the Bardock team, Ginyu Force, or Metal Coolers. Make them actually somewhat decent. And then GT bosses might be a little bit more runnable. Obviously, we're going to get the baby EZA very soon. So we're back to him not being stunned or sealed. So essentially, if we're actually trying to win, it's like, what do? I guess we could just do this. Oh, still have the... I didn't think I had the animations on. Because, yeah, they don't have any permanent build-up. They don't have any stacking. Like... Wow, that damage, though. Oh, his first action is the heal. I thought his first action at least was the was one of the attacks, which would have been quite helpful. 126. So yeah, I think Frieza just dies here, right? Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So these guys, I don't really see the point of them. It's very unfortunate. GT bosses definitely needed help, and that is not what they are. Their sticker effects are cool though. Any characters that have the like key sphere or like key blast attack in their card art, then the stickers usually look quite cool. But plus, you know, it's a cool card. Like, as much as I don't like GT, and there's many parts of GT I don't like the idea of Frieza and Cell in Hell teaming up to fight Goku, I think is cool. But yeah, unfortunately, these cards not great. Not really what GT bosses needed. A little bit unfortunate, but you know, what can you do? So good, at least, you know, 30 stage EZA, get your free 33 stones. We obviously still need to do a video for the Goku, but yeah, definitely not a great position for GT bosses, but it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.